Okay, David, wait. Before we hit record properly, I need to tell you about the blender.
The blender. Okay, I'm sitting down. Go ahead.
So, 3 weeks ago, I decide out of nowhere, completely out of nowhere, that I am becoming a new person, like a smoothie person. I wake up at 6 and drink something green person.
Uh-oh, I know where this is going.
So I go online, I buy this really expensive blender, the kind with like 6 settings and a book of recipes, and I tell myself, this is it, Sarah, this is the new you.
The new you.
The new me. And the blender arrives, I'm so excited, I unbox it like it's a birthday present, I put it right in the middle of my kitchen counter so I'll see it every morning.
Very smart, very intentional.
Very intentional. And David, I used it exactly one time.
One time.
One time. And now it just sits there, and it's become, and I'm not exaggerating, the most expensive place to put my mail.
A $400 mail organizer.
A $400 mail organizer. Every time I walk into the kitchen, it just looks at me like, so, about that new you.
Okay, this is honestly perfect because I actually wanted to talk about this exact thing today. This whole idea of the new you, the new year, new me, new semester, new relationship, whatever it is, that moment where you decide you're going to become a completely different person overnight.
Overnight, yeah, that's exactly it. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David, and this is EnglishFB. And today we're talking about reinventing yourself, why we want it so badly, why it usually falls apart around week 2, like like Sarah's blender.
Freudian slip. You have your own blender story, don't you?
I have several. We'll get there.
Okay, so the new you, this whole phrase, where do you think it even comes from? Like, why do we all get hit with this feeling sometimes, this I need to completely change everything about my life?
Honestly, I think it's usually a moment. Like something happens, a birthday that feels big, a breakup, moving to a new city, even just a random Tuesday where you look around your apartment and go, how did I let it get like this? And suddenly, you don't just want to fix one thing, you want to fix everything all at once.
Right. It's never just, okay, I'll drink more water. It's, I'm going to wake up at 5, meditate, drink more water, read 50 books this year, learn Italian, and become a morning person.
All starting Monday.
All starting Monday, obviously. Because Tuesday doesn't count for some reason.
Mondays have this weird power over us. Actually, I read somewhere there's this whole thing where people call it wanting a total overhaul of their life. Have you heard that word, overhaul?
I've heard it, but tell everyone because I want to make sure it's clear.
So an overhaul is when you make major changes to something in order to improve it. It's usually used for machines, actually, like the engine needs an overhaul, meaning you're not just fixing one small part, you're taking the whole thing apart and rebuilding it properly.
Oh, that makes so much sense with the blender thing, actually, because that's exactly what I wanted, a full life overhaul. Not drink more water, a whole new engine.
Right, and that's kind of the trap. Because an engine overhaul, that's a huge project that takes a mechanic, tools, time, patience. You can't overhaul an engine in an afternoon and expect it to run perfectly the next morning.
But that's what we all try to do with ourselves.
Exactly. We try to overhaul our entire personality in one weekend, and then we're shocked when by Wednesday, we're back to old habits.
Okay, give me an example from your life, because I feel like you have one.
Oh, I have a great one, actually. 2 years ago, I decided I was going to become a reader, like capital R reader. I went to the bookstore, I bought 11 books.
11?
11. Big stack, very proud of myself. Put them on a shelf, very aesthetic, took a photo even.
You took a photo of the books you hadn't read yet.
I took a photo of the books I hadn't read yet. And then I decided, okay, this is the overhaul. I'm reading 2 books a week now. And I finished, David, and I want you to guess how many of those 11 books I actually finished.
2?
1. I finished 1, and it wasn't even the one I was supposed to be excited about. It was just the shortest one.
The strategic choice.
The strategic choice. And the other 10 just sat there staring at me. Very judgmental, honestly. Books can be very judgmental when you're not reading them.
They really can. Okay, so what actually worked then? Because I know you read a lot now.
So this is the thing. I stopped trying to overhaul the whole thing at once. I just said, okay,
10 pages a night. That's it. That's the only rule. Even if it's a boring 10 pages, even if I don't feel like it. And somehow that tiny, almost silly little rule is the thing that actually stuck.
See, that's so much smaller than become a reader.
Way smaller. And honestly, that's kind of the whole thing about the new you, right? The version that actually sticks is almost never the dramatic overhaul. It's usually some small, boring little habit that you just don't quit.
Okay, but here's what I want to know, because I feel like there's actually a bit of a debate here. Do you think people can really change, like actually change deep down? Or do you think we're all kind of stuck being who we already are?
Ooh, big question.
I know, I've been thinking about it since the blender.
Everything comes back to the blender today.
Everything comes back to the blender. But seriously, there's that old saying, a leopard can't change its spots. Have you heard that one?
Yes, and honestly, I have mixed feelings about it.
Okay, well, tell everyone what it means first, and then let's argue about it.
Sure. So a leopard can't change its spots basically means that a person's basic character, their true nature, doesn't really change, even if they try to act differently for a while. Like, the spots are part of what a leopard is. You can't just wash them off, no matter how hard the leopard tries.
So it's kind of a pessimistic saying, in a way.
It can be, yeah. People usually say it about someone who keeps making the same mistake. Like, he promised he changed, but a leopard can't change its spots, meaning don't get your hopes up. He's probably going to do the same thing again.
Right. Like if someone's always been unreliable and they say, no, this time is different, I've changed.
And then they show up 40 minutes late to their own I've changed dinner.
Exactly that. Okay, but here's my problem with it, though, because I don't fully agree with the saying, honestly. I think people can change specific behaviors, even if their core personality stays kind of the same.
Say more. I like this.
Like, okay, my dad. My dad, for like 30 years, was famously chronically messy, like legendary messy. My mom used to joke that she married a tornado with a nice smile.
A tornado with a nice smile.
And then, about 5 years ago, after my mom got sick and needed the house calmer, quieter, easier to move around in, my dad just changed. Like, actually changed. Now his tools are labeled. Labeled, David.
No way.
I'm serious. There's a little label maker involved now. So is that a leopard changing its spots or not?
Honestly, I think what happened is the core of your dad, like deep down who he is, that probably didn't change. He's still probably a little bit chaotic on the inside. Probably still loses his keys sometimes.
Constantly loses his keys.
Right, but the behavior changed because the reason mattered enough. So maybe the saying is more true for like small, low-stakes stuff, but when something really matters to someone, they can actually push past their nature, at least for the specific thing that matters.
That's such a good way to put it, actually. Like, spots don't disappear, but maybe you can learn to hide them a little on purpose when it counts.
A leopard in a trench coat.
A leopard in a trench coat. Exactly. That's the new you, apparently.
Okay, I love that. We should put that on a shirt.
Okay, but this actually connects to something else I wanted to bring up, which is this idea of mindset. Have you come across that word a lot?
Mindset, yeah, it gets used a ton these days, especially online. Sometimes almost too much, honestly, to the point where it starts to feel a little empty.
Right, but what does it actually mean, though, at its core?
So your mindset is basically your general attitude or the way you typically think about things, especially about yourself and what you're capable of. Like if your mindset is, I'm just not good with money, that's going to shape every single financial decision you make, even without you noticing it.
Oh, that's such a good example, actually, because I feel like I had that exact mindset for years. I'm just not a numbers person. I said that sentence probably 500 times in my 20s.
And did you actually try, though? Or did the mindset kind of protect you from trying?
Oof, okay, that's a very good question. And honestly, the mindset protected me. Because if I never really tried, I could never actually confirm I was bad at it. You know, it's safer to just say I'm not a numbers person than to sit down, try to budget, and possibly fail at it.
Right. And that's kind of the sneaky thing about a fixed mindset. This idea that your abilities are just fixed. They're set in stone. You either have it or you don't. Versus a mindset where you believe, okay, I'm not good at this yet, but I could get better with effort.
Yet. That one little word changes everything, doesn't it?
It really does. I'm not a numbers person versus I haven't learned to manage money well yet. Those are two completely different mindsets, and they lead to two completely different futures, honestly.
Okay, so what changed for you actually? Like, I know you're pretty organized with money now.
Honestly, it was small. Again, like the reading thing, I didn't overhaul my whole financial life overnight. I just started checking my bank account once a day. That's it. Just looking, not even doing anything, just looking. And slowly, my mindset shifted from, I avoid this, to, I just check this. It's normal. It's not scary.
That's such a small thing to lead to such a big shift.
It really is. But I think that's honestly the pattern with almost everything we're talking about today. The mindset shift usually comes from a small action repeated, not from some giant dramatic decision.
Okay, but let's be honest about something though, because I don't want this to sound like it's all easy and smooth, because it's not. Like, what happens when you're doing so well, and then you just fall back into the old pattern?
Oh, the dreaded relapse.
Yes. Okay, explain that word actually, because I feel like people mostly hear it about like medical stuff or addiction.
Yeah, so technically, a relapse is when someone returns to a previous condition or behavior after a period of improvement. And yeah, it's used a lot in medical context, like someone relapsing after they thought they'd recovered from an illness. But we use it in regular life too for habits. Like, I was doing so well with the gym, and then I relapsed into just skipping every week.
Okay, that word actually describes my blender era perfectly.
I was wondering when we'd circle back to the blender.
We always circle back to the blender. But yeah, I had like 4 really strong days, 4 amazing green smoothies, 6 a.m., very proud of myself days. And then day 5, I slept through my alarm, and by day 8, I had fully relapsed back into cereal and chaos.
Back to cereal and chaos, the ancestral home.
The ancestral home, exactly. And here's what I think is so interesting, though, is that the relapse itself isn't really the problem. Like, everyone relapses at some point. That's basically guaranteed. I think the real problem is what happens right after the relapse.
Say more.
So, like, when I missed that one morning, in my head it turned into this whole story. Well, I already messed it up, might as well give up completely. I guess I'm just not a smoothie person. Guess the old me wins again.
Oh, the all or nothing thing.
The all or nothing thing. One missed morning became a full surrender. Instead of just going, okay, that's one day, tomorrow I'll just do it again, it became this whole identity crisis over a blender.
An identity crisis over a blender is very on brand for you today, I have to say.
It's been a theme, yeah. But no, seriously, I think that's the actual skill, honestly. Not avoiding the relapse completely, because that's basically impossible, but getting good at recovering quickly from it, without turning one bad morning into a whole failed identity.
That's such a healthy way to look at it, actually. Because I used to do the exact same thing with running. I'd miss one run, and then in my head, that one missed run would somehow prove that the old me, the non-runner me, was the real me all along. And the runner thing was just a phase.
Right, like the relapse gets used as evidence against yourself.
Exactly. Evidence against yourself. That's such a good way to put it. But now if I miss a run, I just think, okay, that's data, not a verdict. I relapsed for one day, that doesn't erase the 2 years before it.
Data, not a verdict. Okay, I'm stealing that.
Please do. It's yours now.
Okay, so this brings me to something actually, because I want to talk about what actually gets you from trying to it's just part of my life now. Like, there's got to be some kind of tipping point, right?
Oh, definitely. And I think it comes down to momentum, honestly.
Okay, tell everyone what that means in this context specifically, because I think people know the word, but maybe not exactly how it applies here.
Sure. So momentum is basically the force or energy that keeps something moving once it's already in motion. Like, think of a bicycle, right? The first push of the pedal is the hardest part. That takes a lot of effort. But once the wheels are actually spinning, it takes way less energy to keep them going.
So it's kind of like the hard part isn't staying in motion, it's getting into motion in the first place.
Exactly. And that's why the first week of any new habit feels so brutal, because there's zero momentum yet. Every single day feels like that first hard push on the pedal. But if you can just survive those first couple weeks, something shifts, and suddenly the habit almost carries itself.
Oh, that's so true with the reading thing you mentioned, actually. Like, now, is reading 10 pages a night still hard for you?
Barely at all, honestly. At this point, it would actually feel weirder not to do it. Like I've got 2 years of momentum built up now. The habit basically runs on autopilot most nights.
That's kind of amazing, actually, when you think about it, that something that used to require willpower now just happens.
It really does. And I think that's the actual goal with any new you thing, honestly. You're not trying to force yourself forever. You're just trying to survive the low momentum period long enough to reach the part where it kind of runs on its own.
Okay, so real talk though. How long does that usually take? Like, is there some magic number of days?
People love to say 21 days, but honestly, from what I've read and from my own experience, it really depends on the habit. Some things click in like 10 days, other things take way longer, like months. I wouldn't get too hung up on a specific number, honestly. I just focus on not quitting during the hard part.
Right, because I think the 21-day thing kind of sets people up to be disappointed. Like, it's day 22 and I still don't love this. Guess it's broken.
The habit's defective. Return to sender.
Exactly. Okay, so I want to shift a little and talk about something that I think is honestly the most important part of this whole new you thing. And it's something I only really figured out recently.
Okay, go for it.
So when I picture the new you in my head, for a long time, that meant becoming basically a different person, like a calmer, more disciplined, more productive Sarah, who somehow doesn't relate to old Sarah at all anymore, like a full replacement.
A software update, basically.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm going to install version 2.0 and old Sarah just gets deleted. And I think that's actually where a lot of us go wrong, because it turns the new you into this pressure to erase who you already are, instead of just building on it.
Say more. I like where this is going.
Like, okay, so my whole life, I've been someone who talks a lot. I get excited. I interrupt people sometimes when I'm excited. I'm a little dramatic, honestly.
A little, sure. We'll go with a little.
Okay, a lot, fine. But for a while, my version of the new you was like, become calm, quiet, mysterious Sarah. And I actually tried it for like a week. I was so quiet, so composed. And honestly, David, I was miserable.
I remember that week, actually, now that you mention it. You seemed off.
I was so off because it wasn't authentic. I was trying to become someone who just wasn't me, instead of trying to become a better, more organized, more grounded version of the actual me, dramatic energy and all.
Okay, wait, let's actually unpack that word authentic, because I think it's important here.
Yeah, go for it.
So authentic basically means being genuine, being true to your real character, rather than copying something or pretending to be someone you're not. Like, an authentic version of yourself is one that actually feels like you, even if it's a better, more improved version.
Right. And I think that's the actual key difference between an overhaul that sticks and one that doesn't, honestly. If the new version of you feels authentic, like it's still fundamentally you, just a bit sharper, it tends to actually last. But if it feels like you're wearing a costume, like calm, mysterious Sarah,
The costume comes off eventually.
the costume always comes off eventually, usually at the worst possible moment, honestly, usually right when you're stressed and the real you comes bursting back out.
That's so true, actually. I think about this with my cousin, who tried to become like super minimalist, gave away basically everything he owned, very extreme, all at once.
Oh no.
Yeah, and within like 2 months, he had bought basically everything back, plus more, because it turns out he genuinely likes having stuff around him. That's actually part of who he is. He's a collector at heart, and pretending not to be one just didn't hold.
So it's not that minimalism is bad, it's that it wasn't authentic for him specifically.
Exactly. It worked great for the person he saw online who inspired him because it was authentic for that person. But borrowing someone else's version of the new you without checking if it actually fits who you are, that's kind of a setup for a relapse.
Oh, that's such a good point, actually, tying it back to relapse like that.
It all connects, apparently. Who knew?
Who knew? Okay, so I want to bring in one more phrase here, actually, because I think it fits perfectly with where we've landed. Have you heard the expression, turn over a new leaf?
Yes, I love that one, actually. It's such a nice image.
Tell everyone what it means, and then I want to compare it to the overhaul thing from earlier, because I think there's a really important difference.
Sure. So to turn over a new leaf means to start behaving in a better or different way, especially after making mistakes. It's like starting a fresh page, a fresh chapter, leaving old habits behind and beginning again.
Right. And I feel like people use it kind of the same way as new me, but I actually think it's a gentler idea, honestly.
How so?
Well, an overhaul, that word feels big, mechanical, dramatic, tear the whole engine apart. But turning over a new leaf, that's just one page. You're not rewriting the whole book. You're just starting the next page a little differently than the last one.
Oh, I really like that distinction, actually. Because a leaf turning over, that's such a small, quiet, natural action. It's not violent or dramatic at all. It kind of just happens, gently.
Exactly. And I think that's honestly more sustainable most of the time than the big dramatic overhaul. Like my dad with the labeled tools, that wasn't an overhaul really, thinking about it now. That was him slowly turning over new leaves, one at a time, over years.
Right. One leaf being, I'll put my keys in the same bowl every night.
And then a year later, another leaf. I'll label the toolbox. Small leaves over and over, and eventually it adds up to something that looks from the outside like a complete transformation.
But it never actually felt like an overhaul while it was happening.
Never. It just felt like Tuesday, and then Tuesday, and then Tuesday for years.
The most unglamorous transformation story ever told.
Truly. Okay, can you use it in a sentence, actually? Turn over a new leaf for anyone still getting comfortable with it?
Sure. After spending way too much money last year, I've decided to turn over a new leaf and actually start tracking my expenses.
Perfect. Exactly how you'd hear it in real life. Okay, so I want to bring in one more phrase, and this one I think is about the actual moment you begin, that early stage when something new either sticks or doesn't.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
Hit the ground running. Have you heard that one?
Definitely. It's a really common one, actually.
Tell everyone, and then I want to hear if you think it's actually good advice or kind of a trap, honestly, because I have thoughts.
Okay, suspenseful. So, to hit the ground running means to start something new with a lot of energy and success right from the very beginning. No slow, awkward warm-up period. You just jump in and immediately perform well.
Right. So it's usually said like about a new job. She hit the ground running in her first week, meaning she was already doing great immediately. No learning curve, basically.
Exactly. And honestly, sometimes that does happen. Sometimes people really do hit the ground running.
Okay, but here's my thought, though. I actually think this phrase, as much as I love it, can be kind of dangerous when it comes to the whole new you thing, because it sets this expectation that you're supposed to be great immediately. No clumsy early stage allowed.
Oh, interesting. Keep going.
Like, remember my blender week? In my head, I genuinely expected to hit the ground running. Day 1, 6 a.m., perfect smoothie, glowing skin, completely transformed Sarah. And when day 1 felt awkward and gross and I forgot to buy bananas,
The banana detail really makes it.
truly tragic. But because it didn't feel like hitting the ground running, in my head it felt like failing right away, instead of just, being new at something.
Right, because there's this gap between the phrase and reality. Hitting the ground running works great for like an experienced professional switching to a similar job where they already have the skills. They're just applying them somewhere new. But if it's genuinely a brand new habit, a brand new version of you, expecting to hit the ground running is kind of unfair to yourself.
Exactly. It's like expecting to run a marathon on your very first day of running shoes ever existing in your closet.
Which, by the way, I basically did try to do when I first started running actually, now that we're confessing things today.
Wait, tell me.
So, my very first day, I decided no slow start for me. I'm hitting the ground running, literally. I went out and tried to run 5 miles straight. First day ever.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. I made it about 1.5 miles before I basically collapsed on the bench. And I was so sore for the next 4 days I could barely walk downstairs, let alone run.
So the hitting the ground running plan actually delayed you.
It completely backfired, yeah, because I was so sore I didn't run again for almost 2 weeks, which basically killed all the momentum before it even started.
So sometimes hitting the ground running too literally is actually the thing that trips you up.
Trips you up. Very fitting, given the running theme. But yeah, honestly, exactly. What actually worked for me the second time around was the opposite. Embarrassingly small, like 10 minutes, slow, almost silly slow.
No blender, no 5 miles, just 10 slow minutes.
Just 10 slow minutes. Not glamorous at all, no big hit-the-ground-running story to tell, but it's the version that actually turned into 2 years.
I love that, though, because I think that's such a good balance to the phrase, honestly. You can absolutely hit the ground running, and sometimes that's exactly right. But for a real new you, a real turned-over leaf, sometimes the smarter move is hitting the ground walking. Slowly, on purpose.
Hitting the ground walking, I like that. We're inventing our own phrases again.
We do that a lot, apparently.
Apparently, it's kind of our thing now. Okay, but I want to go back to something you said earlier, actually, about the authentic thing, because I think there's a really nice, hopeful way to end this whole conversation.
Yeah, go for it.
So if I'm hearing you right, the actual healthy version of the new you isn't erasing the old you and starting from nothing. It's more like keeping the core of who you are, the parts that are genuinely you, and just slowly, gently turning over new leaves around that core.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. Like dramatic Sarah, who talks with her hands too much and gets way too excited about blenders, she's not going anywhere. Honestly, she's staying.
Good. I'd miss her.
Thank you. But maybe dramatic Sarah can also be someone who drinks a little more water and finishes a book occasionally and doesn't buy a $400 mail organizer every time she has a feeling.
I think that's a beautiful, achievable goal, honestly.
Okay, so if any of you listening right now are sitting there thinking about your own new you moment, whatever it is, I think the actual advice, gathering everything we talked about today, is don't try to overhaul the whole engine overnight. Pick one small leaf to turn over. Let it build some momentum. Expect a relapse or two, and don't treat it like a verdict when it happens. And whatever you build, make sure it still feels like you, not a costume.
That's such a good summary, honestly. And I think we should actually do a proper recap now so it really sticks, because we covered a lot today.
We really did. Okay, jump in whenever. Let's go through it.
For sure. So first word today was overhaul, meaning to make major changes to something in order to improve it. Usually a big, dramatic kind of fix, like completely rebuilding an engine.
The blender era, basically.
Forever known as the blender era, yes. Then we talked about the idiom, a leopard can't change its spots, meaning a person's true nature usually doesn't really change, even if they try to act differently for a while.
Which we mostly agreed with, but with some conditions, like the labeled tools.
The labeled tools, exactly. Proof that specific behaviors can shift, even if the core stays the same. Then we had mindset, your general attitude or way of thinking about yourself and what you're capable of, and how just adding the word yet can completely shift a fixed mindset into a growth one.
I haven't learned it yet. Love that one.
Then relapse, returning to a previous behavior after a period of improvement, and how the real skill isn't avoiding relapse completely, it's recovering quickly and treating it as data, not a verdict.
Data, not a verdict. I'm still stealing that one, by the way.
It's yours forever. Then momentum, the energy that keeps something moving once it's already in motion. Like a bicycle wheel, hardest push is the first one.
And then authentic, being genuine and true to your real character rather than pretending to be someone else, like calm, mysterious Sarah, makes you rest in peace.
Gone but not forgotten. Okay, and then our phrases turn over a new leaf to start behaving in a better or different way, especially a fresh, gentle new beginning, and hit the ground running to start something new with a lot of energy and success right from the beginning.
Which we decided is great advice sometimes, but can also be a trap if you expect it from every single new habit, especially the brand new ones.
Sometimes it's better to hit the ground walking.
Hit the ground walking, exactly, our new invented phrase for the day.
We really do this every episode, don't we?
Every single time. Apparently, it's just what we do. Okay, before we wrap up, quick request, same as always. If you're sitting there right now with your own version of the blender, whatever your blender is, comment and tell us what your one small leaf is going to be this week. We genuinely love reading them.
We really do. It's honestly kind of motivating for us too, seeing what everyone's working on out there.
It really is. Okay, David, any final words before we go?
Just go easy on yourself. If the new you takes a little longer than a weekend, it usually does for basically everybody.
I love that. Okay, everyone, that's it for this episode of EnglishFB. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll catch you in the next one.
See you soon, everybody. And hey, if you've got an expensive blender just sitting there judging you too, you're definitely not alone.
Bye, everyone.